Okay, on the notes. On the notes. So I'm going to start with number 2, and instead of the 13, I'm going to make it a 3, okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to remember when we learned how to divide. And y'all learned how to divide in like 3rd grade. So when we divide, what do I do to start? I did. What's next? I start with the 5. And what do I do? So 5 divided by 3, right? And how many times? 1. So I put that right there. And then what do I do? 1 times 3. But then what do I... Oh, and then I subtract. Shh. So I brought down the 4. Now what do I do? 24 divided by 3, and that's 8. So then I take 8 times 3, subtract 6. Okay, so we had 1 over 3 is how we wrote the remainder, okay? So like in 3rd grade, you put the R and you put the 1. But we're not in 3rd grade anymore. We have 1 out of 3, okay? That's what we have left. All right. So what we're going to do, though, is we are going to do the exact same steps. I'm just going to add some variables. No big deal. Easy. No problem. We don't mind doing it. It's easy. So I'm going to divide by x minus 2. Stop making that ugly face. All right. You know what we're doing? We're choosing joy today. You have to choose it sometimes because it doesn't just happen naturally some days. Today, we are choosing joy. No, we're choosing joy. It takes too much energy. Did I send you to the tardy sleep? Choose joy. Okay, watch. After we watch this, after we write this, we're going to do this exactly like I just did. I'm going to take the first term and I'm going to divide it by the x. And I'm going to write that down. X to the 3rd divided by x. And what does that give me? X squared. So I'm going to take the x squared and I'm going to write it right there. You have done this. Yes. So I'm going to take x squared times x, and what does that give me? X to the 3rd. X squared times minus 2 is minus 2x. But then what do we have to do? You have to subtract, which means you're changing your signs. So this cancels out, and this becomes 6x squared. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to divide it by x. So I'm going to have 6x squared divided by x, and that gives me 6x. And that goes right here. And when I do that, oh, I didn't bring down the 16. Sorry. Getting all ahead of myself. It's so exciting. Okay. So much fun all in one time. Okay. So now I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to have 6x squared, and then I'm going to have minus 12x. And what do I have to do? Change the signs. So these cancel out, and now I have minus 4x, and I'm going to bring down the 8. So I'm going to take this, the minus 4x, and divide it by x, and that gives me negative 4. So I'm going to put negative 4. So I have an answer of x squared plus 6x minus 4. Okay? Don't say no to me. Yes. All right, thank you. So everybody try number 5. Okay, so this is what we should have gotten for an answer. Okay? So how many of you got this? So look, like even me, y'all, when I was doing this and I had the 12 wrong, like it's easy to make a subtraction error in these, right? It's easy to do that. So you have to be careful there because, I mean, even I am doing that. Okay, I'm just going to do one more. I'm going to do this one right here.
Which one? 11?
Yes. So, when I do this one, if you look, what is missing? I'm missing the x, right? You have to have one of everything. So when you write that out, you have to fill this. So I have 12x to the third plus 4x squared plus 0x plus 4. You do. So I'm going to start with the 12x to the third and divide by x, and that gives me 12x squared. So that goes right here. Is everybody good? So we're going to multiply. And then I have to subtract, so I'm going to change the signs. Is everybody good so far? I haven't made any errors yet, right? Okay, so then I'm going to take the minus 8x squared and divide by x. Gives you minus 8x, right? So that's going here. And I'm going to multiply. Minus 8x times x gives me minus 8x squared. And then I'm going to get minus 8x here. But I have to change the signs, right? So that becomes positive and that becomes positive. These cancel out, 8x, and bring down the 4. So now I'm going to do 8x divided by x, which gives me 8. So I'm going to put plus 8. So that gives me 8x and 8. And I have to subtract. So I have a remainder this time, which is perfectly fine, no problem. So my answer is this. Now, for the remainder, we're always going to add the remainder and then put the minus 4 on top. Okay? Okay, so I'm pretty sure by now your little pea brains are firing, like you kind of remember this, but the reason that you only kind of remember it is because tomorrow we do the easier version, right? And everybody likes the easier version tomorrow, but there are certain times you have to use this. You have to use long division if. So look, because you're going to have to know this. You have to use long division if you have a leading coefficient. So I have a 2 here. I have to use long division. You have to use long division if you have an exponent. You have to use long division. Anytime you just have a linear factor like x plus 4 or x minus 2, you can do synthetic division, which we'll do tomorrow. All right? But you have to do long division with these two. You have to. And you're going to have to know when you have to do it.